Okay, so for the section today, we're going to be writing rules for arithmetic sequences and finding sums of arithmetic sequences. So we have a specific type of sequence today, whereas yesterday it was kind of just looking at them in general. So if we look at this sequence 2, 3, 4, 5, obviously 6 would be our next one, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 would be the next one. 3, the numerator is staying the same and the denominator is getting multiplied by 2, so this would be 3 over 32. For 4, find the sum of the series. You would do 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 3 is 6, plus 4 is 10, 15 equals 21. And then for this warm-up down here, they want you to find when the sum from 1 to 4. Kind of looks like our homework from yesterday. Sorry, my dogs are insane right now. It's 12, 27, 48. You add all those up and you're gonna get 90. Okay, so that's just kind of a quick review from yesterday. So today we're gonna specifically talk about an arithmetic sequence. So it says, in an arithmetic sequence, the difference between the consecutive terms is constant. So the difference, this is going to be key, between the consecutive terms is constant. So meaning, like when they change, if it's 2 to 4 to 6 to 8, then you see the difference is 2 between those, okay? If it's 5 to 10 to 15 to 20, the difference would be 5. So this constant difference that we keep seeing is called the common difference. And it's denoted by the letter D when we get to all of our formulas. So this one says decide whether this is arithmetic. So you always take the second minus the first. So it'd be -6 minus -10, which would actually end up being 4. And then -2 minus -6, that would be 4. But right here, 0 minus -2 would be 2. So this is no, because it has to be constant all the way throughout. Okay, here, 11 minus 5 is 6. 17 minus 11 is 6. 23 minus 17 is 6. And 29 minus 23 is 6. So this one would be yes. And D would be 6. So it's going to be really important for these that you can find that common difference right away. So it says the nth term, meaning any number term. Like I could ask you to find the 10th term, the 100th term. Like this, these are good. Like if you're trying to predict something, okay, what is the 5,000th term going to look like? We're probably not going to do numbers that big, but it's definitely used for that. So the nth term of an arithmetic sequence with the first term a sub 1, so there's a 1 there, and common difference D is given by this. So you can find any number term by taking your first term and adding it to the number of terms minus 1 times your common difference. So just making a couple notes here. D is your common difference. N is your number of terms. A sub 1 is your first term. And this is what we consider to be your nth term. So like if you're trying to find the 17th term, if you're trying to find the 17th term, then N would be 17. So because it's the number of term. So we're going to use that formula a lot today. So what I'm going to do just is make sure I'm writing that on each one of our problems, okay? So it says write a rule, which meaning like an equation for the nth term of the sequence. So first of all, we want to subtract here, and we find that the common difference here is 15. So that's 15. And if you wanted to just check a couple, that would probably be smart, okay? But you're going to see all these are 15, so that tells us that D is 15. Okay, and so when it says write a rule, you're going to write down this formula. A sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times D. And to write a rule, you only need 2 things. You need a sub 1 and you need D. And if you have those 2 things, you're going to be able to write the rule, okay? So my a sub 1, remember, is just my first term. Well, all you have to do for that in this instance is just look at the list. It's 32. So a sub n is 32 plus, we're writing a rule, so we're keeping that in, minus 1 times 15. So I'm going to distribute this 15, so I get a sub n is 32 plus 15n minus 15. And then you're just going to combine your like terms of that 32 minus 15. So my rule is going to be for any term in this sequence, it's going to be 15n plus 17. So there's my rule, okay? So it can ask me to find the first term, which obviously we don't want to do that because we know that, but the 100th term, the 10th term, whatever it wants. So in the second part, it says, okay, find the 12th term. So a sub 12, my 12th term is 15 times 12, that's my number of terms, plus 17. And when you punch all that in your calculator, you're going to get 197 is your 12th term. So that's about as straightforward as it's going to get. Like, it kind of reminds me of when we were writing equations of lines. Like, if they give you the slope and the y-intercept, like, super easy, right? So kind of the same thing here. If they just give you on a platter the common difference in the first term, then writing the rules is going to be really easy, okay? Now, here's how they're going to obviously make it a little more difficult. So it says one term of an arithmetic sequence is a sub 8 equals 50, meaning that the 8th term is 50. The common difference is 0.25, so we know D, right? But what we don't know is a sub 1. We don't know a sub 1. So up here, we knew both. Down here, we got to do a little work, okay? So first of all, let's write this out. A sub n is a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. So I need to find a sub 1, which means all of these other variables I've got to plug in. So right here, it tells me the 8th term is 50. That is very important, okay? So the 50 goes here. 50 is the 8th term of this sequence. So once I get this, I can say 50 is a sub 1 plus 7 times 0.25, which I believe is 1.75. And then just subtract the 1.75 from both sides. So the a sub 1 is 48.25. Now, I'm not finished because if you notice, it says write a rule. So anytime it says that, I need to go back into here. So we have 48.25 plus n minus 1 times 0.25. Gonna distribute. So a sub n is 48.25 plus 0.25 n minus 0.25. Sorry, that's not 0.025, that's just 0.25. Okay, so the rule is a sub n is equal to, you could say 0.25 or 25, whatever you want to say, 0.25 n plus 48 is your final rule. So this is the rule. Okay, so just a reminder, in order to write a rule, you need the first term and you need your common difference, okay? And I actually think I'm gonna stop there and we'll do sums tomorrow. I'm gonna try to kind of keep this simpler. So hang on to these notes, hopefully if you're printing those, and we'll just stop there for the day and I'll give you some problems to work on and we'll pick up in this section tomorrow.